Look, I think the ad blocking conversation is an important conversation because I think it affects our investment, but I actually think it's a very small portion of the conversation, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, ad blocking, great, but there's been ad blocking for years. It's called I'm just walking away from the TV screen. And we know that there's been a lot of waste. I think the more interesting conversation is where is real attention happening? And what I find outrageously interesting is that here at Cannes, at an event where what we really care about is putting messages in front of consumers, that we're not talking about where consumers really are. So when you look at the majority of media that's consumed versus consumed on a mobile device, and then beyond that, there's a belief that it's video or that it's Facebook feed, but the reality is that it sits inside of messaging. And here we have, as a creative community, no conversation around what does a world of creativity look like when you can only send a consumer a message or when you have to communicate with them in one of those platforms, WhatsApp, WeChat, Messenger, text, whatever those are. And what does that world look like, and how does that look as a distribution platform? So also, by the way, it's closer to first-party data than any other platform we have. So I think that, for me, is the absent conversation here at Cannes this year, to be honest with you. I think addressable is, look, we've been doing a lot of work in that space. We're one of the first players in that space. I think it's super important, but by the way, we already know what that model looks like. It's called programmatic buying. It just happens to be now television's coming to that. So we already know what that looks like. And again, I hate to keep going back to messaging, but if you really think about it, there is no strategic underpinning, there's no model, there's no approach. We don't have anything for this entire space where 4 to 5 minutes of your life is actually spent in a message app at some level. And we don't have anything for that. And so while I think addressable TV is super important and it's going to be a huge component as addressability in television grows, we already know what that model looks like, right? We've seen it a million times in programmatic, so that's kind of where my head's at.
And finally, Bough, you have a book. A lot of people are talking about it. Tell us about it.
The book is called Text Me, with my phone number on the cover, and it is the Freakonomics of the mobile generation, and it looks at the undiscussed and untalked about impact that mobile's had on every single aspect of life, from parenting to relationships to memory to language. And the whole idea here is 120 interviews with everybody from Pharrell to Dick Costello and in between. And we uncovered a lot of interesting information, but what became clear was that it wasn't enough. We hadn't asked enough people. So what I wanted to do was launch the single largest qualitative survey on how consumers are impacted by this device and how they want to be talked to using this device and messaging. And so I put my phone number on the cover. And to date, we've texted with over 1,200 people here, which is interesting. And we've learned a lot from creativity to parenting to health. And so it's been exciting, Ken.